Hello. So this is my critical witnessing project. Um, this is the student I chose. I'm going to call him King. That's not his real name, but is a name that he picked for himself. I chose King because he's different from other students that I had critically witnessed in the past. He's also different from myself. And I also noticed that in the past I had been witnessing or like choosing to work with female students. I think just because I'm a girl, I think I just tend to do that. So I wanted to make sure I picked a male student this time as well. And I noticed that King is really extroverted, which is also different from myself. So that's another reason I picked him. My initial impressions and like King's reputation is that he's black, he's 9 years old, and he's a native English speaker. He is a member of the lower class. So in the morning there was like the lower level class, and in the afternoon there was the higher level class in our classroom. And he's pulled out for reading interventions a couple days a week. He's really bubbly, outgoing, and kind. He's very willing to participate, help others, and take on additional roles as a helper. I found out from him that he's named after his father. He's the middle of four siblings, and their whole family lives in one household. He was described to me as someone who's not from a wealthy family. I also learned that he's on the free lunch program. However, I did notice that he tends to have like nicer items like Jordan shoes, where some of his classmates don't. The settings that I witnessed King in were the hallway at school, my host teacher's classroom, which was an English classroom, in his math teacher's classroom, because they switched halfway through the day, in his reading intervention sessions, at lunch, and on the playground. These are some things that I chose to question and notice when I was witnessing King. So I was witnessing and questioning what is his transportation to and from school. Is he often late or absent? How does his behavior change, if all throughout the day, when he switches classrooms? Is he performing well in both math and ELA, or is there a difference in his ability or performance? What does he do during his interventions, and also like during those interventions, what is he missing during class? Who does he sit with at lunch, and how does he act at lunch compared to the classroom? How does he play with others, and who does he play with? So this is a quote that kind of reminded me of King after doing some of my witnessing of him. It says, "Never mind what the people think of you. They may overestimate or underestimate you until they discover your real worth. Your success depends mainly upon what you think of yourself and whether you believe in yourself. You can succeed if nobody else believes it, but you will never succeed if you don't believe in yourself." And that just really made me think of him because, regardless of what I was hearing from teachers saying that, maybe he was like kind of like a problem student because he was kind of a class clown, and they had to, it was explained to me that they really had to work on his discipline in class. Regardless of all that, he never changed his attitude, and he like really believed in himself and was confident in who he was. So these are the same questions from the last slide of what I was questioning, and these are just kind of some of the answers that I came up with for those questions. So King was usually dropped off by one of his parents, but on days where he could, he would walk to school. He was often late, and that was usually on the days that he would walk. He would end up being late. He wasn't absent very much, just the one time in the time that I was at school. I didn't notice that his behavior changed from the ELA classroom to the math classroom. He stayed pretty consistent with his, little antics and being outspoken. He was very confident in both classrooms. He performed better in ELA than he did the math classroom, but he still did good in both of them. During his interventions, they would just work on reading comprehension techniques and stuff like that. And he was, I would say, more well-behaved with the reading specialist, but I think it was because it was more like one-on-one attention, so he didn't really have the chance to clown around as much. He really sat with and played with everybody in our class and students from other classes. He's a very like social butterfly, and he did, kind of have his little inner friend group that he would stick around with, but really he talked to everybody and anybody. And on the playground, he was very into like the basketball, and he would just be running around, and there wasn't a moment he was still on the playground. And then some personal things that I learned about King that I wouldn't have learned by not talking to him were that he loves basketball, that he's a great singer and dancer, and he knows every word to the movie Encanto, and that he's very creative. So, when looking and reflecting on myself after this critical witnessing, these were three quotes that just really, I think, sum up how I was feeling. So, the first quote in the middle says, "Love is a better teacher than duty." The next quote in the top left says, "We were not born with the unhealthy habits we carry. We had to learn them so we can unlearn them and help others do the same." And then the last one says, "I care more about the people my students become than the scores on the tests they take." And I think these quotes just really show that this experience taught me that for me, teaching is a passion, not just something I'm in school for, something that's going to make me a paycheck. And it also showed me to care more about the students as individuals rather than just the kind of tests that the kind of scores they were getting on tests or how much they could kind of just sum up back to me. It was more about their understanding and who they are as people. And then when looking at school wounds, I compared some of my own to King's. So my school wound that I think I really relate to the most is perfectionism. I was always in the gifted programs, which is also another parallel between King and I, was that I was in the gifted programs while King is getting put in lower level classes and pulled out for extra help. So I really relate to perfectionism, where I think King suffered from the school wound of underestimation. I think because he's coming from a typically low income area, because he is a black male student, and because he's put in these lower level classes, that people really underestimate what he can do. When he performs well and as a person, that's where he really shines. I also think that he's a very creative person, and unfortunately his creativity is shut down by the stereotypical like scaffolding of school and just how it's made. He just really, I think, can express himself better through talking and having conversations, where that wasn't really something that was encouraged in class. It was more about, get on your laptop, do your work, and let's get it moving. A school wound that I think him and I both had in common, which I think many, many students have in common, is the wound of compliance. I think that throughout school you're just really taught, you have to sit down, be quiet, sit up straight, keep your things organized. You have to do things this way. And I think I really saw that in him, and especially it was really sad to see that, he would maybe be having a really good day and he was really bubbly and he'd really be going crazy and he'd get really excited about something, and then just slapped on him like, "King, we need to be quiet and focus." And you just see the excitement drain from his face, So I think that's something that we have in common, and I remember feeling like that as a student as well. And just a little off topic, this is me in 8th grade, so I try to get the closest picture of me to King's age. And then lastly, when I was looking at the school wounds, I was, researching, just looking back at the definitions, and I found this little excerpt from the Wounded by School, and it says a learner's Bill of Rights. "Every learner has the right to know why they are learning something, why it is important now, or maybe be important to them someday. Every learner has the right to engage in questioning or interrogating the idea of importance above. Every learner has the right to be confused and to express this confusion openly, honestly, and without shame. Every learner has the right to manipulate to multiple paths to understanding a concept, an idea, a set of facts, or a series of constructs. Every learner has the right to understand his or her own mind, brain, wiring, and intellectual inclinations as completely as possible. Every learner has the right to interrogate and question the means through which his or her learning is assessed. Every learner is entitled to some privacy in their imagination and thoughts. Every learner has the right to take their own imagination and thinking seriously. So I just really liked this little Bill of Rights because, first of all, it reminds me that, learners are people. They're not just objects in our classroom, and they do have rights as a student and as a person. And so I think that it really reminded me of keeping myself accountable as a teacher, and that for me, because of this experience, I now view teaching as a partnership between the students and I, not just them as little empty cups that I need to fill. I also really like that it's just talking about their right to understand the importance of what they're learning, because as a student, I really remember I struggled in math really, really hard. And I always thought to myself, like, why do I need to learn this? Why do I need to do this? And I think that if someone would have reached out to me and showed me, like, this is why this is important, this is why we're making you do this, I think it would have really helped with my motivation. And I wouldn't have wanted to give up so easily just because it was a little hard. And then lastly, these are just some cute little pictures of my students I thought I would include. This is this is the lower level class with King right here. And then this is the higher level class. This is little Tamarion and Axel. And this is a picture of Mia at field day. And she had just helped win the tug of war. And I just thought she looked so happy. So, so that's everything. Thank you.